Hey guys, T-Boy. Today we're going to be doing something a little different. We're going to be taking a look at kind of off the beaten path, off the wall commander builds. Uh, in general, the community views the commanders being available as kind of 2.5 or maybe 3 if you want to view it that way per class, per nation. So you have 2 destroyer commanders plus a generic that you can use on destroyers for USN destroyers. You have 2 cruiser specific commanders plus the generic Dewey that you can use on the cruisers and so on and so forth. Same for battleships. And that's kind of true. There's there's the generic per nation, and then there's 2 that are, mainly tailored towards those class specific builds. But that's not 100% true, and you can actually come up with some interesting ideas. So today I thought I'd kind of introduce the idea to you guys, see what you think, and we'll go from there. So we'll pop right in here. Let's just pick a random. Let's take Sims, for instance. All right, so what we want to be doing is looking on the right-hand side of the screen and look at the language. Built to last is gain an HP bonus per ship tier, and a lot of people will know that Sims' base trait's useful for destroyers. All right, so that's not breaking news, but Sims is a battleship commander, right? Nobody would ever use him for anything but. And here we have a battleship perk. It says range of battleship's main guns, precision of battleship's main guns, and then you have a risk of catching fire. So if you put this on your ship, the only thing on a cruiser, for instance, all you're doing is increasing the risk of catching fire. Not a particularly useful perk. But you want to analyze the copy on top, increase your battleship's main battery range and precision. That one says battleship, and then the language below range battleship main gun. This one, reduce the risk of catching fire or flooding. Doesn't say battleship. And that's kind of the generalized description. Then below, risk of catching fire, risk of flooding. Doesn't say battleship. This is a ship perk, not a battleship perk. You can put this on any build, and it'll cut down the risk of catching fire. So that's an interesting option. Here, this one gives you a clue that there are, this is kind of what sparked my interest in analyzing these builds. It was because on Sims it says traverse speed of destroyers guns. Well, why is that on there? Because this isn't just a battleship commander, this is a ship commander. So if we want to put this on a destroyer, we're going to get great increase to the turret traverse speed. I mean, that's going to get those turrets whipping around. Here we got a battleship perk. It says battleship's main gun AP damage, traverse speed of the battleship's guns, max battleship speed. This is 100% affecting just battleships. Dispersion main battery. Now this one is interesting to me, and this one I don't know for sure. On the top, the generalized introduction, increase your battleship's main precision. But below it just says dispersion of main battery. Now I suspect this can affect all builds. I think you can probably affect the dispersion on cruisers, probably on destroyers, but I'm not 100% sure because you do have that battleship on top. You do have the thing on the bottom. But here, this is just a ship perk. So if we want to get those shells switched over on cruisers, which do have long reloads, by the way, on those heavy cruisers for USN cruisers, interesting option. Range of all main guns, or range of main guns. Doesn't say anything about battleships. Damage con cycle does not say anything about battleships. So really, for Mr. Sims here, we got definitely less than half of his main perks. This one's a question mark. It could be 75% of all of his perks are available to all ships. And here you have an AP, currently we don't have any cruisers that have heals. Well, I take that back. The Boise does. So, interesting option. Increasing the range of the Boise. I don't know if we're going to be switching shells a lot, but it's something you could do. Turret traverse speed, I mean, great. These are all options to look at. So that's just pulling Sims randomly. Now, when I've kind of given a look at these commanders, I usually feel like the cruiser ones have the most interesting ones. So let's go to Mr. Fraser here. A lot of people are salty because they have British cruiser commanders, and they don't have British cruisers except for the Danae, which is no fun to play. It's only fun to shoot at. Well, I'm sure a lot of people like the Danae. But let's take a look at Fraser. So base trait, max speed of the ship. So already we have a good base trait that, you can use this for inspirations. Everybody's already thought about that. But all right, let's take a look at him. Let's see. HE fire chance. Okay, well, a lot of people shooting HE on their British battleships, right? British destroyers. Also, I'm thinking Lightning. I'm thinking Warspite. That's an interesting. I don't shoot a lot of HE personally on my British battleships, but I know a lot of you guys do. All right, here's the range of cruisers. So that's not affecting anything but cruisers. AP pen. All right, this is very interesting. This is like putting JoJo on your battleships. You max that, you get a 4% AP pen modifier. You put JoJo over here, all of a sudden, let's just take a look quick. Level 11, we got a 3.6, so we're already talking over a 7.5 AP pen boost if we run JoJo over here and we run this over here. That's very interesting. Torpedo visibility range. So now this is kind of coming together as a pretty strong battleship build. You got Mr. Dewey, similar thing to him as an inspiration. We're increasing the torpedo visibility range, makes it harder to get torp. You got an AP pen boost here. HE fire chance just for cruisers, so that's not going to work. Or max range of the torpedoes. This is potentially, if we want to put this on the Lightning, you got a torpedo range boost here, you got an HE boost here. Battleships, we got this, we got this. Interesting builds coming together. This one's inapplicable. This one, just reducing damage for cruisers. Now, a lot of times, this tier 3 right-hand side perk for cruisers, that'll just say, reduce damage for your ship. So keep that in mind. But so far, these two just for cruisers. Max speed, though. I mean, you can run that on destroyers or battleships. Rudder shift. Interesting. I mean, steering gears repair time. This is just as valuable, you can put that on the Lightning, put it on the Jervis, make that thing a shell dodging maniac, put that on the battleships, increase their agility. Here again we have one that we're not 100% sure if it's just cruisers or if it's half cruiser, half everything. And here we get an extra charge, so you get an extra heal here, you get an extra sonar on those destroyers. Fraser, this is a strong destroyer build. This is a strong battleship build. You're pissed off, you got Fraser, level the guy up and put him on your Warspite, put him on your Vanguard, put him on your Lightning. This is a very interesting build. I mean, Fraser looks like a hell of a commander for all classes of ships to me. Well, let's take another look. How about Lütjens? He's currently got a desk job in my Navy. Alright, so here's one where the base trait's just for cruisers. So we're sacrificing the base trait if we use this guy on anything but cruisers. But keep in mind the inspirations, the base traits, while good, they do affect your builds, they're not as strong as over here. Here we got this is only a level 7, but we got a 2% increase over here. Here, this is a negative 5%. So in general, these numbers are going to be a lot bigger over here than these ones here. But you do need to keep in mind that if the base trait just says cruiser or it's specific to a certain class, that's sacrificed. So, alrighty, that's a little bit of a negative here, but here we do have an HE shell increase. So, again, that's applicable to any ship. Here we have the early warning indicator. This is valuable for cruisers. You guys have heard me talk about that. But why is it not valuable for battleships? Why is it not valuable for destroyers? Getting that knowledge that you're about to be shot is certainly going to help you out no matter what. Incoming splash damage. Reducing those HE damage to your ship. I mean, that's a valuable perk. Traverse speed for cruisers. So we're sacrificing a little bit there, but we're getting the early warning indicator and we're getting reduction in HE damage. So not bad here. Here we have range of torpedo detectability while sonar is active. So I'm thinking Bismarck here. Let's keep this in mind for a possible Bismarck. Here we have cruiser speed, rudder shift time. Again, this one's ambiguous, but I'm guessing if you want to cut the rudder shift on whatever ship it works, and speed, you're just sacrificing. Torpedo visibility range. Okay, that's good for all ships, frankly, but really good for battleships. Max speed of the ship. Incoming damage for cruisers. Okay, not that great. But here's all right. Here's the one that I was talking about. That shield, the tier 3. We have a reduction in damage. It looks like it's probably going to be about a 4% reduction in incoming damage. Not a bad perk to put on your battleships. And here we got options for the rudder shift time, the steering gears repair time. Alright, so it's a pretty good perk for destroyers. Not a bad perk for battleships. Here we also get an option for an extra sonar if you want to put this on the Bismarck. So for me, I mean, this is it the best Bismarck build? I don't know. I haven't analyzed it line by line. But it's a Bismarck build. And we get an extra heal here, an extra consumable. Whatever else, in terms of consumables, those ships have. So these are interesting options, and here's a damage con cycle, another option. Why is this? This is a viable battleship build, in my opinion. It's probably not the most optimal destroyer build, but it's something to think about. And you can go through all these different commanders, and you can see once you start analyzing your commanders in this manner, your options are much more plentiful than battleship, battleship, generic. Well, I go from 3 options to 7 or to 8 for these nations that have these extra goofballs, the Halloween commanders if you got those. So take the time to come up with these creative builds. 99.9% of the players they would not consider these builds. Now, some of the really inexperienced players might inadvertently do that because they really don't understand the commanders. But kind of the progression of your thinking is usually going to be a commander is a commander to, okay, well, now we have 2 cruiser commanders and a generic. Let's stick with Norm, Scott, or Kincaid for cruisers. And then once you evolve into this next level, you all of a sudden go back to having 8 options, which are potentially viable. But you just need to take the time to analyze them. So hope you found that interesting. Hopefully you found it a little bit helpful. If you did, please hit the thumbs up. New to the channel, you should consider subscribing. There's a lot of World of Warships coming all the time. Questions, comments, leave them below. Love to hear from you guys. And we'll see y'all later. Alright, peace.